Hey guys, it's G2J. I'm about to dive into something that is long, exhausting, and I don't know if this is ever going to be finished. The day I started writing this is September 30th, when the idea popped in my head. It's something that I want to tell from my perspective and be true. I want it to not sound insincere or fake, so I'm going to have to talk about some things to me that are personal and how I feel about some aspects. It's a dive deep into everything. Well, not everything, but as much as I could find and put down to not forget those who have done things for LLR and the story that is still going. I'm going to be using names that are redacted, banned, or anything in between. I'm going through every match card, every comment, every promo from the very beginning to current day. This is LLR Year Zero. It's 2019 now, where hundreds or even thousands of players have done the free-for-all match. But I want to go back to the very beginning, the first post. So let's rewind. Days before Backlash on September 11, 2016, a card where Dean Ambrose would lose his championship to AJ Styles, to where Becky Lynch became the first SmackDown Women's Champion, to where Kane beat Bray Wyatt, and then Heath Slater and Rhino became the first SmackDown Tag Team Champions. In LLR, some names that are still here showed up. Current legends like Rai Rai, JJ, Sir Lily Hammond, and Math Pipebomb. The winner and original undisputed champion was a guy named Desiroku. He was victorious and he had the championship. And a simplified penis joke lost and became a broken penis joke. Next was Clash of Champions. Instead of a single person winning a title shot, the championship was up for grabs in the free-for-all match. And this is where I showed up. Well, my old account. I thought it was dumb and I said, I'm guessing losers on purpose. Somehow I still won't be last. To show how much I guessed wrong on this, I picked Alicia Fox to win a pay-per-view match. But funny enough, I was one of 4 who actually were at the bottom. But coming through the 100 predictions, one name showed up that he was still here, Naruto Man Reigns, and he was actually one of the 4 who predicted the whole card right. He was almost champ, but Church said, each of you 4 pick a person who would speak first on Raw. Whoever wins gets the championship. It was won by a guy named Peef Reamsgar PSPW. I'll call him Peef from now on, but Peef won and claimed I fucking went over. But I, on the other hand, still thought this was ridiculous, and I took the finger poke of doom. In reality, I really just wrote in the comments section and say, like, fatal 5-way from the 5 worst. Fuck it, I lay down, I could get pinned, I quit. But now fast forward to No Mercy. The Intercontinental title was announced due to the high volume of predictors every match, or every game. Names such as King of Zing, Captain Conundrum, and Mr. Cappy showed up. But the Mocking Dead 1 became the first IC champion. Carterman and Captain Conundrum won the LLR free-for-all, and a man known as Luke would be banned and become one-man band. But this is now where LLR started to pick up, actually. So it was the first ever triple threat for the world title, and it would take place between Peef, Desiroku, and Carterman, the previous LLR match winner. The Mocking Dead would defend against Captain Conundrum, and the first of a long rivalry was a title versus career match. I came back as my new account and said, I challenge you, Church, for the United States Championship. We put the same exact predictions in except one match. One match saved me and let me become champion. Brian Kendrick versus TJ Perkins. A ridiculous Cruiserweight Championship match that most of you have forgotten that happened, kept me in LLR because Kendrick won. This also randomly put the first seeds of the first faction forming, but more on that later. There was one big debut of that night. A man named Monk. But the results were Carterman won the Undisputed Championship, Mocking Dead retained, I won the United States Championship, and the LLR match was won by Falcon Arrow. While Falcon is now hated and banned here from the community, this is an era where I have to talk about Falcon was being the guy. I think showing his dominance and showing people how strong he was really might show you more about how shocked and upset people were that when his scandal, his revelation came out. Falcon would demand a match with Carterman at Survivor Series. And Monk left a very passionate speech talking about his second place victory. He says, "Where I'm standing, it looks like I finished joint second with one incorrect prediction along with Naruto Man Reigns, with no outstanding contenders for the United States or Intercontinental Champions. I would love nothing more to stake a claim to a title match. I have nothing but respect for G2J and congrats on a well-deserved career change. I feel the United States scene is not where I see myself right now. However, the Intercontinental title, count me in." You could say second place is the first of the losers, but the only loser I see around here is Mocking Dad, especially if he truly believes he's on a never-ending world tour with the title. It's only a matter of time until it's over in Survivor Series versus myself. Sounds like the most appropriate time for the tour to come to an end. The rise of L Monk A7X can begin. So I'm laying down the challenge to the Mocking Dead. I hope that you accept, and if you don't, well, here's hoping Buddy Church has the sense to book it. So I responded with, "You go get that Intercontinental title. Join Falcon and I. Falcon's going to be undisputed champion. I'm United States champion. We'll hold all the gold, and they'll have to respect us here." And Monk said, "Are you feeling what I'm feeling? This could be the gifts of Reddit." And I said, "Gifts of the squared circle. GSC." Church, I went on a whole spiel with Church. I don't feel like reading it. It was really cringy. There's a lot of Jericho impersonations because that was what was popular then. That's pretty much what the GSC was all about. Our whole gimmick was just quoting Jericho because that was what was popular at the time, and it was funny. We've gotten better writing since then. But it was the first stable. We would go through some roster moves along the way, but Falcon, Monk, and I were ready to hold all the gold soon. And then the Survivor Series came, and it was interesting. Carterman faced Peef and Falcon. Mocking Dead faced this new young lion Monk, and G2J let one-man band challenge him for the title if OMB put his career on the line, just like I had done against Church. We succeeded, kind of. I mean, I retained the United States Championship, Falcon got the undisputed title, and Monk won the Intercontinental, so we thought. We were then introduced everyone to our fourth and final member, the Enforcer, OMB. OMB and I had a plan from the beginning where he refused to compete and would not go into the ring, and then shook my hand because Church couldn't stop us. We were growing, and we were the first big thing in this tiny little game. Now, like I said, our whole gimmick was Jericho quotes, but this was a movement that we felt like. The four of us really felt like this is the first of our community working together to make this more than just putting in predictions. We were the first people who wanted to do more with this, and we did it together. We all became pretty close during that time. So this day, I think there's, at least between Monk, myself, and OMB, there is a very, understanding that, hey, we did something important here. But going on to Survivor Series was the first time the champion's advantage was given. Monk tied with predictions with Mocking Dead and wasn't given the Intercontinental title after all. This was big, and it came out of nowhere, it felt like, and we were really upset. During this time, King of Zing won a match against ROH 2002 fan, who might have been Daniel Bryan for all we know, but he won a title shot, or Zing won a title shot. Zing chose to face me at the next pay-per-view, but we made a big mistake that I still feel bad about. I didn't take Monk not winning happily. I was upset at the whole situation, and we might have kicked him out. I feel bad, Monk. I'm so sorry. But we made a mistake, and Monk was respectful and cool. He was a good guy, Monk, and he said that he wanted to see us prosper since it was his home. Monk, it's been like 2 years too late, but I fucked up. If we ever want to grab OMB and show these forgetful people, the newbies, GSC, we could do a reunion? I don't know. Fun fact, GSC's theme song is a song called Legendary by Welshly Arms. It's a very good pump-up song. I listen to it when I run. I recommend to listen to it. It's a good song. Anyway, Church made another surprise shocker that involved him. OMB Monk himself and a new competitor named Dezu. You'll hear his name a lot more later, trust me. But we're we're in a fatal 4-way to determine a title shot at Roadblock when that was a pay-per-view. Wow, that feels like a long time ago. But TLC was the next pay-per-view. Falcon retained. A guy named Rail Rock Wrestling beat Mocking Dead for the Intercontinental title. But then he really didn't because Church screwed up and Mocking Dead retained through Champ's Advantage. A competitor actually had to point that out in the comments. I beat Zing, and Church and Monk both won the fatal 4-way. There were so many people winning together. We really needed the tiebreaker back then. But OMB was put with Zing to be in the first tag team championship match. No new members of LLR really showed up there. None that are here currently, at least. It was definitely a pay-per-view that set up the upcoming storylines. But let me go back and explain that. Literally, there would be at least two threads of LLR, because we would post comments and we would cap out the comments with like 150 at that time, of all of us promoing back and forth like we did instead of on the Discord. We do it now, but it was in the comments back then. It got us a lot of attention because everyone's like, LLR, they have over 150 comments a couple times, so what is this? It gave us a lot of attention. But I want to take a break and talk about that compared to current day. I feel like this company, or this promotion needs to start commenting on people's promos in the Discord, not in the Discord, but in the subreddit again. Like, we do it in the Discord, and but it makes our sub look dead. Like, there's no one commenting on the promos anymore. Back then, it was not to shit on the writer, but to progress the stories, to connect characters in, like, it would just connect everybody so it doesn't feel forced later on when two people randomly showed up against each other. It progressed some stories. Like, if I was someone today that popped on the sub, like, for the first time, it would see, like, there's no comments and the sub is kind of dead. But really, in the subreddit, in the Discord, we're writing hundreds of kayfabe comments a day. It wouldn't be hard just to write a kayfabe comment on a promo, and not to shit on the writer, but just to get something down. I've talked to a lot of the old guys here at LLR, and that's something we really miss. Like, it looks dead, but that's just my 2 cents. You can cut promo and not comment on it, or do whatever you want and post on a kayfabe chat. That's just my 2 cents. But back to Year Zero. Now here's where something almost happened, as ridiculous as it sounds. Something that truly amazing could have happened that would put LLR on a map outside of a little game on a subreddit. Falcon would surprise us, quote, quote, with a member who was born a member of GSC. Wouldn't even tell me an OMB. We were confused. It just was something that we were interested in. But during this time, I want to announce something that happened at Roadblock, which I found. Falcon was in a fatal 4-way against 2 other people and Rai Rai. Rai Rai had won the free-for-all match and he got that chance. I think that's one of those times where Falcon cheated. Looking back, it doesn't seem legit. I think Rai Rai should have had the title. I think he was screwed. It was one of those moments where I think, if you remember, I said Church said, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. I think that was one of those moments, and Rai Rai lost some momentum after that. So Rai Rai, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I didn't know. But the big news that Falcon had, he had gotten Evan Bourne, at the time named, to agree to participate on LLR, asking him on Twitter. If it was real, who knows? Probably not. But, however, King of Zing came back with an awesome thing, and he truly got Jervis Cottonbelly to agree to compete against Bourne at the Royal Rumble. Jervis even tweeted that towards Find Evan, or whatever his Twitter handle back then was, saying something like, I think I'm challenging you in a prediction competition, or something. Darius, if you could find that tweet, that would be amazing, because it definitely did happen, but that was like 3 years ago. Evan didn't show. Jervis didn't compete, but later on Jervis would show up and ask what this is about. But damn, we were really close to having Jervis versus Evan Bourne on our match card. That would have been great. It would have blown up for us. But then Falcon said he had new members to give us as well, and that was Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks. And he tagged both their accounts on that. Well, here's when I started getting upset at Falcon. I mean, we had been friends for 3 or 4 months at that point. I didn't know his lies and everything, but I was even annoyed, and I said, I quote here, said, "Have you ever realized that everyone Falcon has announced has not shown up? I think he's full of shit. Church, if none of these guys shows up, he needs to be punished." And OMB and Zing jumped on and agreed with me, saying he should be stripped of his title. Did that happen? No, he didn't. But did anybody show up? Again, no. And now here's where I want to start talking about the road to WrestleMania. The Royal Rumble match. I gave up my U.S. title match to challenge Falcon for the Undisputed Championship because I had a rematch with Church, and I said, no, I want to take on Falcon because I was annoyed with him, like, not telling the truth. It was tagged the GSC Explodes and Best Friends Turn on Each Other was the tagline, I think. Again, here's another time where Falcon cheated, I believe, and changed his picks after. I'm not 100% sure, but I wouldn't doubt it because after I explain something, I want you to decide. Because I remember after the pay-per-view believing I had won, but you'll see. Now, the first Rumble match doesn't get talked about, but it was the biggest. There were 2 threads on the Squared Circle subreddit. Jervis Cottonbelly showed up in the comments asking how to participate. 41 competitors were in it, including names like Dezu Church, Rai, the future Intercontinental Champion Sox, Zing, JJ, Monk, Captain Conundrum, OMB, Naruto Man Reigns, and Falcon. Now, this is the part of the podcast I want to focus on my personal journey, because while there was a lot going on, I want to share what happened to me. I hope you understand later why I want to share this, without thinking this is sour grapes, me being bitter, etc. This is just something that I've held personally, and I want to explain my journey, not just in character, but out of character for me, because this is truly what happened. This is the good and the bad of the rest of the year, because I won that Rumble, and the bullshit that was given to me, the fallout, the choices I made, kind of helped form LLR as it is today. A lot of this has been forgotten in today's time because who was I around that time? Zing, who's gone after some negativity. Church, after all that drama. Falcon, after all that drama. It was pretty much just me, OMB, and Monk. And it's a lot of forgotten stuff. It's just words on a subreddit at this point, on a wiki somewhere. When I won the Rumble, I got the most picks correct. I predicted the winner, the most, person who would get the most eliminations, and also most of the rest of the card right. So one would assume if I won the Rumble match, I would have beaten Falcon in the world title match, right? That's how it makes sense, because Falcon was in the Rumble as well. Well, somehow I lost to him. And I need to read these exact words when I complained to Church in the comments. I said, "Church, nowhere in the Rumble match itself does not count towards overall points. I scored 12 points and Falcon scored 10. I am the champion. Don't rob me of this. I tied with the most points overall over everyone else. This is the right thing to do, to hand me the championship and give the other 12-point scores number 1 contendership for WrestleMania." It was not stated anywhere. I triple-checked. Church says, "The Rumble match did not count towards the total, but only as 1 point. You guys tied. I just posted about it." And I said, "Where was that stated? It was nowhere. This is bullshit. I'm not cool with this." Church says, "These point values for the Rumble match was clearly listed under the header for number 1 contendership only." Now this is where I was like, what the fuck, Church? I worked my ass off this last half year, and off your idea, your prediction, and I try to make your prediction thing important. I've done this for over half a year now. What else can I do? But he gave me the Rumble win, so I was headlining WrestleMania in a 1v1 match against the champ, right? And Church made a joke in the comments saying, the Rumble match was won and so it makes me honored and pains me to say it's G2J1. Just little shots like that. So I won the match, but I lost the title. I'd get my other chance at WrestleMania. And then Elimination Chamber came up. Falcon had to face 5 other members in the chamber. I was placed in a match against King of Zing. Church said if Zing won, she got added to the WrestleMania main event. What? What? Anyway, I won the Rumble, so why does Zing get this match? Church gets what he wants, I guess, so I had to go with it. But here are some really cool moments of this pay-per-view I don't want to skip over. OMB won the Undisputed title and won the tag titles with Zing. making him the ever first dual champion in LLR, which I think is awesome. Seema, our best friend, won the U.S. title, and also the free-for-all winner match was won by Throw This and Cappy, which was the beginning of the Wild Stallions when Church put them in as a tag team, which was really cool. Vacant also made his first appearance talking to JJ. Bullet with a name wanted to interview people in the comments. Interviewed people like Church, JJ, Zing, OMB, Seema, Falcon, and Vacant. Oh, and this is where Zing won by the most bullshit prediction, because she put the predictions in like 5 minutes before the actual pay-per-view started, because there wasn't a before the pre-show starts rule. So she changed it. I didn't know that was possible, and she won. So now it's a fatal 4-way, I believe, for WrestleMania. Yeah. And then Fastlane, Falcon won the title back, giving OMB his rematch at WrestleMania. That I was fine with. Like, me, Falcon, OMB, GSC implodes and is the main event of WrestleMania. That's cool. But the whole giving Zing the extra shot kind of upset a few of us. Actually, interesting enough, and if I just looked at the results, and if you listen to my church podcast, there was 4 qualifiers for the Intercontinental title shot at WrestleMania. 2 of those 4, Bold and Fake News Barrett. If you listen to the church podcast, you know who those are. Never noticed that before. Interesting how that snuck in. Then there was the match between Zing and I again, where the winner got a predetermined advantage in the title match at WrestleMania. Why should someone get an advantage at WrestleMania and 2 of the other 4 members in the match wouldn't even get the chance of that advantage? I don't get it, but whatever. But gladly enough, I'm glad this happened. Neither Zing or I won, because we kept changing our picks every 5 minutes, because I stooped down to her level in the last because we kept changing every 5 minutes to the last hour of the pay-per-view. Because I was frustrated. This is when I started thinking about quitting for the first time. I know I've retired a couple times, but I started thinking about quitting because I was doing a lot. I was typing a promo in the comments every day or two, and maybe it was a paragraph, maybe it was 3 paragraphs. It was enough to keep the community engaged, and I felt like I was doing all this, and church was just enjoying shitting on everything I did and trying to make it harder on me. So I said, win or lose at WrestleMania, I'm stopping competing. Like, I'm over it. And I asked Church if I could run SmackDown and do a brand split. Because I saw some things that could be done well and some things that could be done differently that I really liked. And then WrestleMania took place. WrestleMania 33. There's an absolute beast of a card of who's who. Today, some of these matches would hold up as a main event. A tag team a tag team qualifier was made and won by Church and Vacant, but they lost to the new, now Hall of Fame team of the Wild Stallions, Throw This and Cappy. Dezu beat Bong. Church also won an LLR free-for-all match, and JJ won the 6-man Intercontinental Championship match. Dezu also won another match where he won the U.S. title, which started his legendary reign. And in the main event, I won. Now, I say that I won, but not really. The moment was bittersweet, kind of. At this point, it had been about 6 to 9 months where I had been working really hard on this. I commented or chatted with people via Reddit messages and stuff of just trying to get people to comment and buy into this whole character and community. And I won the match against the 3 other competitors. But then I relinquished the title because I had already agreed to do that because I wanted to be SmackDown GM. It was the worst thing I've done for my LLR career, but it was the best thing I could have ever done for LLR. I remember when I found out I had won. I had been watching WrestleMania away from my phone. I didn't want anything spoiled. I didn't want to hear the chat or people messaging me. But after the event, I grabbed my phone, and as I headed to the bathroom, and I was sitting down, probably taking shit or whatever, but I saw I had 3 messages. One from Falcon, OMB, and Zing. Each one said, "Congrats, champer, you deserve it." It was the nicest moment anyone had done in LLR for me so far. It like made me proud that, hey, after 9 months, I'd done it. you know. But I wanted change. Now, if I would have held on to the title, I would have gone when we had the subreddit part of LLR starting. I would have been the world champ as it started. I would have been the champ of the company. I could have been the guy for a while possibly and had a title reign. Like I said, I wanted change. And while I'll talk about the next year of LLR very detailed later on, I want to talk about what the choice of dropping this title would be. Like, what really happened. Did I have to drop the title to be GM? Yes and no. Nowadays, champs can be GMs, assistant general managers, or whatever, mods even. But back then, it hadn't happened yet. So when I talked to Church about it, it was almost like expected of me, like, so you're going to be the GM when you drop the title. So I was like, okay, well, I'll drop the title so I can be a GM because I want to do some things. So I did it though. I'm really proud of what I did as a GM. I gave a lot of people the chance that Church probably wouldn't have given them. It still really makes me feel like I did something when people like Proof last week told me that they appreciate me for giving them a chance or spotlight. For the Money in the Bank match, I first came up with that, where I got people to return, like Monk returned after a few months of being gone because he had given up. He's told me that he was frustrated with Church and how things were going and Falcon cheating, so he had given up. But once I gave him that opportunity, he came back and he got to be this. Gamer was another one, I think. I feel like I did a lot of good. Anyway, but then there's the downside. I'll never be over as good as I was back then. It's just the point of fact at this time. I've had one shot at the title in the past 2 years, which I lost, obviously. There was an idea back in the day for when I came back after being GM to get a shot for the championship I never lost. It would have been at that next year's Royal Rumble. Church okayed it, and a few months in advance, kind of how like The Rock challenged Punk. But the match didn't happen. After it was announced, the community was mad, and I truly get that, and the unhappiness, and the match didn't happen after all. That was probably one of the times that Church did something for me, but that made the mods and GMs unhappy, and that later got him kicked. I really wish I could get a title shot, but I know it won't happen, so don't worry about it. I moved on, don't care. I really want to talk about something. I know I've talked about myself a lot, but I really want to talk about something that really hurts me personally, when it probably shouldn't. Like, I get this as a game, but this matters to some of us, and fuck, I don't know how to talk about this. The Hall of Fame. This is where I get real, not just G2J character. This is where my actual feelings got hurt. When the first class came out, it was a shock to me. If you remember the episode where I upset Church because of what I did to Barrett, and I hurt Barrett's feelings, that was literally like 2 weeks before the first class was announced. I think Church led me on purpose that I was going to be in, just to pull away to spite me. Because in the messages he asked me to induct Falcon, and I said, yeah, of course, I'd love to. And I joked, who's inducting me, as a joke. And he did like, oh, you'll have to see, I can't tell you that, smiley face type thing. So I thought I was in, like, toot my own horn, but I thought I did enough to get in. And then the Barrett thing happened, and I wasn't named. Dezu, Falcon, Zing, and the Stallions were in, and that was the class 4 people. And all of them deserved to be in, hands down. But I wasn't. And that kind of hurt, but there's nothing I could do. The next year of announcements, I was to blame on this one, and I had just upset the mods and GM, so I should have been in at that time. Monk, OMB, JJ, Bullet, and the tag team named Vicious and Delicious. I'll talk about them later, they definitely deserved it. I'm not taking away anything. I just thought it was interesting that there was 4 in the first class and 5 in the next class. I'm going to go on the record and say Church took my name off the year 1 ballot. I think he had an idea to induct me and then took it away out of spite. And I know I've said this, and I know it probably doesn't matter to most of you. It probably sounds like I'm just bitter, but it really hurt because I had been working with Church for almost over a year at that point, and I thought I'd done enough. And honestly, that's the best chance I'll ever have going into the Hall of Fame. Like I said, I'm not nearly as good now. There's so many of you. People, you're better at predicting than me. Better writers. The community has grown so much that I just accept it. Like, it's over. It's fine. And while it's just a title, I see people in the Hall of Fame who are like, who made a huge difference for the community, who did something truly important. And it's probably just my ego, and it truly could be at this, but I thought I did a lot for this place. Because the people in there are people I think I'm friends with, who I chatted with day after day, and they were all picked, and I was left out. It hurts. I'm not gonna lie, it stings. It shouldn't, but it does. But you know, sometimes it's okay to know what you've done and accept that as the victory. That's the way I've told myself now, and I tell people who are struggling in LLR, feeling like they're not able to do something, or they got overlooked. I just tell you guys that, man, you know what you did. You know how good you are. Just take that victory. If it never happens, I accept it. It's fine. But I love this community so much. Thank you guys for letting me help you guys out or be a part of this. I'm gonna focus on other people who are popular from now on, because my story kind of ends there. I mean, I come back, but I don't do anything noteworthy. This was part 1 of the series. It was the easiest to dive into because it was just results pages and reading through hundreds of comments. Like I said, 10 pages of notes, almost 11, for about a year's worth of work. Now I'm going to have to dive into each promo arrival and the beginning of subreddit from LLR Year 1. That's when the start of the subreddit happened, to the next WrestleMania. There are a lot of people during this time who came and now are very important members of the community. This might take a lot of time to accomplish. It might take weeks. I don't know when Year 1's going to be released. Please be patient. No, I want to do the series justice. Next week, I'm not going to be releasing anything. I hope this was enough to crave your thirst for podcasts for 2 weeks. I got some family things to take care of. In-laws are coming into town. We're going to have a good time. Next time when I get back, I'm going to try to bring on a guest. I'll announce it as the date gets closer. Thank you guys for listening. It really means a lot when you guys listen along or comment about it. It makes me feel like I did something good. It matters to me because this could have flopped. And this episode was probably the hardest to record because I did multiple times because I just didn't know how I wanted to broach the topic. But I hope I did it okay. You guys are awesome. Thank you for everything LLR is, everything that you guys do. It's appreciated. Even if you're just the guy that posts a couple promos but is active in the Discord, or you just give people the thumbs up for posting a good promo, or just trying to get people to do better. Like, I see all that, and I want you to know that you're appreciated. I started when LLR was literally like 6 of us in character, and the rest were just 90 predictions in, and I've seen it grow to where it became a subreddit, and we had 50 people in, and it was such a big number, I felt like, and now we have over 500 people in there, but I don't know how many are active, but it's just a really cool thing to see. So for me personally, I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud of what I've done. I'm proud of whatever LLR becomes to be. This was LLR Year Zero. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you have an idea for next episode. When I do Year 1, if there's something you really want me to talk about, I'll find it. Trust me, it's going to be a lot of reading, a lot of old promos. Yeah. Alright guys, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care. This was G2J, and that's LLR Year Zero.